Ass clap.
Hey. Hello and welcome to the UnDateable Me podcast. I am your host, the undateable Jimmy Lee Lard, the Sock Snob, and this is our very first episode of our weekly show that deals with the struggles of relationships and dating. But we're not just talking about the problems. This is a journey to find solutions, and we're going to do it in a very entertaining way, because I cuss a lot. And then it's also going to be very vulnerable as well. So this very first episode, my co-host and I are going to talk about the 5 questions you need to ask if you are struggling with love and relationships and dating. Let's go.
I see you hanging around, but I don't have much to say to you. Don't know what you're waiting for. Guess you think I'm playing with you. Ever since you walked out my door, I changed the locks on me. There ain't nobody getting me. I'm doing fine by myself, and I like it. I've been doing things by myself. You should try it. When we was together, how the did you have me gone? Now I'm by myself, and it feels good to be alone.
Come on.
Don't wanna be with you, but I'm gonna be okay. I kinda like myself. I kinda like myself. Don't wanna be with you, but I'm gonna be okay. I kinda like myself. I kinda like myself.
Hello and welcome back. So before we begin, I need to introduce my co-host. She is here with me. I have with me Holly DaBeamer. She is the mother, the wife, the actress, the model, and like I said, she is DaBeamer. Holly, if you followed us for a while, any of the Sock Snob film stuff, Holly starred in our Raven's Cry short film that we did for a film festival couple years ago, was that? Yeah. So, and you were also in the Letter series as well that we did, our film series, both of which you can find on YouTube if you search Sock Snob Films. But in the Letter, you were getting your ass whooped by your boyfriend, your character boyfriend. Your character was getting her ass whooped. Holly like, I ain't taking no ass whoop.
Because I gives the ass whooping.
Oh, okay. I see. But you can find her pretty face and her big old booty on Instagram, The Real Beamer, DA _real BEAMER. Okay. So let me tell you a little. So welcome to you and thank you for coming.
Me.
So I'll tell you a little bit about me and then I'll get into why Holly is here as well, okay? So my name is Jimmy Lee Lard. I go by the Sock Snob because I used to have a blog years ago called the Sock Snob. It was all about travel, style, and culture. So that's, and the name just stuck over the years. I am, Lord, I hate to say it out loud, but I am 47 years old.
Years young.
Yeah, 47 years young. I'm Black, for those of you who are tuning in, listening only. So special shout out to all the folks who are tuning in via iHeartRadio, Spotify, and of course those on YouTube, podcasts, and all the other networks out there. I am a father of one child. I am a grandfather. And I'm gay. Lord have mercy.
Big ups.
Big ups. I came out real late in life, though, so I think that might have contributed to some of my dating struggles. But the reason we're here is because I still don't understand or didn't understand why I was having so much trouble getting into a good relationship that's going to be, your forever person. Right. So, because I thought I was a good catch.
You are a good catch.
Oh, I think you just saying that because you're sitting here.
No, you are.
Oh.
It's them.
Okay,
it's y'all.
Them. Good. So I thought I was a good catch, and I'm fairly accomplished. So started out, had a music career. And throughout these episodes, you'll hear some of the songs. In fact, the intro, that was one of the songs from my group, The Connection. That's me, myself, and another guy named I almost said another guy named Jimmy Lee. Another guy named G. And from music, we moved into film and television. So I worked on a few shows, Empire, Chicago Med, Fire,
Talk your shit, Jimmy.
all of that. Ha! You
Talk
funny.
your shit.
No, I won't do that. Anyway, so a few productions. And this, again, just telling you more about why I thought I'd be cool. I have a decent house, decent car.
Nice house.
I got a
Nice
six-figure income. So I'm thinking, well, I don't need nobody for their money. I got my own or whatever. And I'm a nice guy. Would you say I'm a nice guy?
Lovely.
Okay, very good. So I just didn't understand why I was still struggling to find that right connection. So I wanted to explore that a little bit further. And I wanted to do that with you all as well. And that's why Holly is here. Yeah. The reason Holly is here, aside from being just a beautiful person,
thank you,
great wife, she has a beautiful family, all of that. But Holly nosy.
Mm-hmm.
Holly is a little bit nosy, right? I am the least nosy person you are ever going to meet. And because of that, I don't always ask a lot of questions because, hey, look, if people say blue, I don't need to know why. I'm like, okay, bitch, want blue, right? So Holly, on the other hand, is going to get to the bottom of it. Holly's going to ask some questions. Holly is going to get down to it. So that is why I asked her here. And aside from that, I love this girl.
Thank you.
She's always supporting anything that we're doing. So if you are, in fact, struggling with dating and relationships like I am, so if you can't find a good man, if you're tired of the one you got, if you feel like there's no good ones out there, or you just wondering how are these other hoes out here winning? You see them, you like, how she get a man? And
they putting up with a lot of shit.
Right. Oh, well, maybe that's it.
Not all of them.
Yeah, okay, cool. Or if you're wondering if you're too old, too big, too accomplished, too picky, too nice, whatever it is, we have some questions we need to ask. So there are 5 questions that you need to ask if you are struggling with dating or relationships. So the very first question you need to ask is, are my expectations too high? And I think a lot of people suffer from this. We have these unrealistic ass expectations of what we want our person to be. Girl, he got to be tall and light skinned, but he got to have dark skin energy, though. He got to have a big thing, like everybody walking around here with 12-inch. Why would you even want that? I'm sorry, but okay, maybe it
ain't for me.
Okay, very good. Because
on the average side, you know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
This pussy gotta last. Like, you're not gonna be dogging my shit every time.
Right. So I agree with that 1,000%. But anyway, like I said, the expectations are unrealistic. I want him to be saved and sanctified, but at the same time, he got to be a thug. Like, what? Bitch, he don't exist. I want him to have a PhD, but he got to have street smarts too. He got to be able to, know how to cut up dope and flip it. Like, the same dude with the PhD, right? I want him to be kind, but I want him to be aggressive. Yeah. So, and on top of that, then with ourselves, we'll say stuff, I'm independent, but I want a strong man. And it's like, sometimes those things conflict.
Fuck that. I want to spend Red's money.
Right. So, are our expectations do you think people have like these unrealistic expectations, or is it just me and that's just something I'm seeing?
No, I think that's a question that everybody's been asking a lot about expectations and what you allow, what you don't allow. And I think that everybody's expectations is different depending on where you at in your journey or where you at in your life. Because what your expectations was 10 years ago was not the same of what you have now.
Lord. Yes.
Back then when we was growing up, we was out here in these streets. We was just like, oh, this nigga got a car. Oh, we finna be in his car. We finna get some Amsterdam.
Car booty.
Yeah, now it's like, bitch, I need a pension. What your 401k look like? Like, if we going on a trip, how many? Like, so I think it's different for everybody that's in a certain phase in their life.
Yeah. And I think, too, you have to realize when it comes down to expectations, you have to understand nobody's perfect.
Right.
And nobody is going to check off every box on your list. That's not, living in reality, really.
Yeah.
So, you've heard that 80-20 rule. If they are at least 80% of what you want, you can deal with that other 20%.
Exactly.
So
because you want that, don't necessarily mean that you actually need that.
right.
Because then you might get it and be like, oh, damn, this wasn't even for me. It was just something that I thought I wanted because society told me what this was in right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, so that's that. Well, like I said, so are my expectations too high is the very first question. The next question I think we need to ask is, do I not think enough of myself? You know what I mean? So for those of us that's for those of us who settle. For those of us who have big backs like myself, I gotta unbig this back.
Me too, shit.
So, oh no, you cute. You got your titties showing and all of that.
It's them shots.
Right.
Shout out to the open. I don't know how to say it, gluted, whatever. But
that's funny. Oh, Ozempic?
Yeah. The cheap one, the black market one.
Okay, cool. All right. But when we are bringing things into the relationship, like, people who have kids. I was actually looking at something the other day, and there was a lady who had 7 kids. And now she's ready to date again. And they were like, girl, it's not impossible, but,
It's not.
Yeah. And so those are things, that will have you doubting your ability to get somebody, right?
I think it's people getting their head.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Oh, I do too, because it's one of those things where when you, at least for me, and I don't know if I've been seeing a lot about Virgo since it's Virgo season and I am a Virgo, you want to put your best self out there.
Right.
And maybe you think that you don't have all your ducks in a row yet. So you want to maybe take care of you know what? I'm not ready for dating. Let me first get a house, I want to be established. Oh, well, you know what? I need to upgrade my car. And the problem with that is that you will never stop. You will never be ready.
Right.
Because it will always be one more thing or whatever. So,
because bitches get out here all the time and love a nigga with no car, no job,
my God, yes.
all type of shit.
Yeah.
So who was to say that you have to have all of these things?
Right.
If that person is vibing with you or love you or get to just know you personally, then that stuff will come later in time. Not saying that you shouldn't have your shit together, but who really does?
Right. Yes. And the whole do I not? But I think that's comes down to that idea of getting in your own head. So you just have to, I think, clear, like I said, all those
insecurities,
unrealistic things out of the way, because not only is that other person not going to be perfect, but you're not going to be perfect either, right?
Yeah.
So you have room to grow. Hell, get y'all broke asses together and grow together, I guess. I don't know. But, you don't have to let those things hold you back from love and life.
Right. And I think, too, that is the mental capability of the person. Because you could get with somebody and see the potential in them, but if they're not putting no actions, behind that potential, then it's just like a waste. Then I can't fuck with this person like that.
Right.
Because we not getting anywhere. Both of us can't be on the bus. Somebody got to be like, look, we're going to do this, and then, because that's how people grow together.
Yeah. All right. Well, the other thing I think when it comes down to do I not think enough of myself, sometimes I think we're just lonely too.
Yeah.
Loneliness will get you into some trouble. Let me tell you about myself. You will find yourself dipping back to an old ex. You will find yourself in some one-night situations that you did not want to be in or whatever, because loneliness or whatever, just being in a big quiet house will have you sitting around here looking crazy, right?
Yeah.
And doing stuff that you probably would not normally do. So I think that is a big thing, being lonely. And then also, we don't always consider like childhood trauma. When you say, do I think enough of myself? Are there things you're bringing into a relationship from,
Past.
how you've seen relationships with your parents or things like that, because people have some interesting childhoods and, You just never know what somebody has gone through. So.
Yeah, and that's why I think it goes back to like how you were raised.
Yeah.
Because back in the olden days, like they would marry you off to, somebody who had, what do they call it? Like, oh, you want to, marry into the family. They had to be like a lord, or they had to have some type of standards. And,
like with the arranged marriages.
Yeah, with the arranged marriage. And sometimes I don't think that's a bad thing, because you want the best for your child to be able to have that inheritance to keep your name going. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, it just comes from a mental standpoint of, what do I see in myself that I see in somebody else? What attributes do I play off of with that other person that's making me feel insecure, or what makes me feel good even?
Yeah. And your ass, I heard your ass say, if you're going to marry a lord or something, your ass been watching Game of Thrones.
Yes.
So I can't say shit because I just finished rewatching Game of Thrones just recently. I just finished yesterday. But anyway, question number 3. Am I afraid to make the first move? Am I afraid to make the first move? Do you think that's an issue with people?
Probably back then, because then, it was, I think it's different for men and women, because I think when women make the first move, you come off like as a hoe. You know what I mean?
Oh.
Or you come off as, well, now, thirsty or whatever like that. But then you get people to be like, oh, if you see what you like, you go get it. And that's how I am. If I want it, I'm going to go get it, because I ain't going to never get it now.
And also, but see, what happens though, that's in heterosexual relationships. Hell, in homosexual relationships, we 2 guys or 2 girls or whatever. So I think it's just a sort of personality thing. There's some people who are kind of go-getters and they will jump in and
do it.
Just do it. And then there are other people who are like, nah, I'm gonna wait till somebody say something to me. I'm not gonna be the first person to say anything. And I'm mostly like that as well.
You don't make the first move?
Girl, no.
Why not?
I don't know. I'm just, because dating is scary.
What they don't do?
Well, also, too, the other thing that a lot of you straight folks don't get with the gay side is there's a lot of qualifications you got to do first, right? A lot of qualifying you have to do first. So for one thing, you have to figure out, is that person even gay first, right? Because you don't want to be approaching some straight dude. And by the way, if I know you're straight, that's a complete turnoff for me right there. So it's like a light switch went off. You could be the finest person on the planet. Your ass just turned nothing to me. I mean, not nothing to me, but I'm just not interested, right?
Okay.
I don't want nobody that don't want me.
I know
so
that's
anyway,
right.
so that first hurdle is figuring out if they're gay or straight, right? The second hurdle that you got to get through is the whole top, bottom, side, and everything else thing, right?
So that really matters?
That does matter. Well, you think about you getting involved with somebody and you like each other, and then you find out y'all not compatible sexually. Y'all both tops. Because he's saying, you ain't finna get in my booty. And the other one like, well, you ain't getting in my booty. So we just wasted time. So you know what I mean? So
that is
those
tough.
are things that you have to qualify first before you even get through the other stuff.
So when you meet somebody, be like, you gay?
So
Yeah,
when
okay.
right, you know what I'm saying?
Top or
No.
bottom.
And most straight dudes are so many homophobes out here too. But even in general, it's uncomfortable for a dude for somebody to walk up. Hey, I got a question for you. Whatever. And by the way, let me tell you something about that real fast. I remember like years ago, back in like high school. You see all the little thugs on the corners or whatever, right? And they be with their guys and, they talking all, whatever. They hardest thing, whatever. Catch one of them motherfuckers by themselves. Or, like, I remember I would be coming home from school or whatever. And, there was one guy, I would see him with his little group of guys on the corner on 16th Street in Chicago. Anyway.
Shout out K-Town.
K-Town. So, one day I'm getting off the bus coming from school, and it was just him. Like none of the guys were out there. So, I'm used to, he just one of the little drug boys on the corner or whatever. So I'm walking by, and then he was like, hey, can I holler at you for a minute? Like, fuck you want to talk to me about, It's like, hey, you gay? Or whatever. And I was like, oh, Lord, here go one of these motherfuckers. Right? So, but I would brush, stuff like that off. But
you ain't see it as a challenge?
A challenge for what? I don't.
I'm finna fuck you and get your little corner
Oh
money.
my God. Nope. I wasn't interested. Nope. Not interested at all. Now, not being the one to make the first move. You can miss my. I have a story for you. Now, see, this is when I tell y'all get an opportunity to get all up in my business. Because I'm gonna tell. I'm telling it all.
Yes,
in here.
tell it.
So
it's gonna help
let
somebody.
me tell you, this was last year. No, Lord, last year. This was this year. I was at the garden center at Walmart. Mm-hmm. So I went to the garden center. And I'm inside and I'm, looking at different plants and stuff. And I had noticed there was this employee like watering the plants, the row behind me or whatever. So I didn't think nothing of it. Now, I did notice the guy. Mm-hmm. Now, again, we don't approach nobody because not that I'm, like I said, I'm not that type of person anyway. He was a very attractive guy. He was like Middle Eastern.
So you had a foreigner.
He was a foreigner. But he had a ponytail, like a little man bun.
Something to grab on.
Built real nice and all this stuff, right? But I just noticed him and I moved on. Because again, in my head, I assumed he was straight. So it was like that light switch went back off right away. So didn't think nothing of it. Go to the next aisle. And there he is. And he now has come over to the next aisle watering. Still didn't think nothing of it. And it was like that the whole time I was shopping. He was kind of, just moving around. Anyway, finish up my shopping. I'm getting ready to leave. And he was standing by the exit, just propped up against a post there. And he was like, now see, I could never be this bold. He was like, you are fine as hell.
And what you do?
I froze first. Shut up, Holly. Shit.
He on here talking about UnDateable Me.
That's what make me undateable.
Motherfuckers
shit.
At you and
right.
all type of shit in the garden center,
now.
And you just like, God, like, all right, I ain't gonna be sitting too long.
Listen, it's scary out here in these streets, so you gotta make sure that you own your shit before you go, letting somebody. Well, anyway, so he's like, you fine as hell. And at first, I didn't know, I didn't know what to say. I wasn't sure that he actually said that. And I was like, huh? Like, whatever. And quit looking at me like that. And so then he said it again. He was like, you are so fine. He was like, I just had to tell you that.
So you heard it right that time?
Yes. So that time I knew I heard it right? This story has a horrible fucking ending, Holly.
Oh, my God.
So the only thing I could muster up enough courage and sense to say was thank you. And I went to my car. So listen, so I come home, I tell my son has been so supportive of my gay ass over the years since I came out.
Because of the person that you are. You are a great person. That means nothing.
Oh, thank you. So I'm telling my son about it and he was like, why didn't you react to it? Like, why didn't you whatever? So I was like, all right, well, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back to that Walmart.
I forgot something at Walmart.
Right. So I go back the next day. Because it's like 30 minutes away. And I was like, shit, well, you know what? I do have to go into the office tomorrow. So just swing by. So I get there. He ain't in the damn garden center. So I was like, well, Jimmy, go to Extra Step. Go inside the store.
Because you're going to look for your man.
Right, because I'm going to find my Middle Eastern, Saudi Arabian prince.
Exactly.
Right? So, that work at Walmart. So, anyway.
We likes the Walmart discount.
Right, yes. So, tell me why in no time I see him. I just happened to come around a corner and I see him going through the damn employee doors that go in, those damn big rubber doors. Whatever. Tell me why he was going through it. I was like, ain't this a bitch?
I'd have went back there like, well, alhamdulillah at?
So I got my plan all set. I was like, he went back there. The motherfucker got to come back.
Right.
He got to come back, right? So I got my little story already. I got my shopping cart ready. I'm like posted up at the end of this aisle.
Oh.
I'm going to pop out at just the right time, right? As he comes out and be like, oh, wait, weren't you in that garden center the other day?
Right.
I was going to do one of those.
What you doing over here in produce?
Holly, when I tell you, this man came out and I was like, is he limping?
He had disability.
And I kind of backed up because I was on my way out with my car. I kind of backed up, right? And I looked. And so he was walking away. he had on his shit to go. Like because when he went in, he had on a vest. Came out, he in his regular clothes. He's still fine, whatever. But this limp, I'm not talking about a regular limp. I'm talking about a serious limp. And I looked, and one of his legs was like shorter than the other one. So he had that weird, side by side walk.
Expectations. What do we say about expectations?
Oh my God. First of all, I felt like the biggest asshole because I took back.
Wait, so you backed out? Oh my God.
I was like, okay, I wasn't expecting that. So,
Jimmy.
Look, I pulled my car back in that.
Shit.
Because, I didn't even know.
That's why he was leaning on that motherfucking door when you walked past.
I feel terrible.
You should feel very
I
terrible,
felt like
Jimmy.
shit that day. But, so, anyway, my nose is running. So, I was just like, I feel like the biggest asshole ever for telling this story right now.
Wait, so you didn't say anything?
I didn't say nothing.
Oh my God, Jimmy.
And then on top of that, I was like, I'm never coming to this Walmart again.
Y'all.
I haven't been back since. I was at the beginning of the season.
What?
So,
Now, what if he was a good person?
He probably was.
He might get a
like I
disability
said,
check.
it just
He probably didn't get
I
the
don't
work
want
done.
his disability check.
You gonna get handicap stick.
Like I said,
You gonna like
Holly.
any shit you could get. You gonna get in front of all lines.
You know what? It wasn't that he had a disability. It just threw me off guard. I wasn't expecting because I didn't notice it at all. When the day before he was watering, whatever, he was in the row behind me. And when I was leaving, he was leaning against a post.
And that's why.
And now we know why he was leaning against the post. All right. So, anyway, so that's that.
You don't think you'll double back? Can't do it? You don't think you can double back?
Nah, I'm over it or whatever. And also, too, am I just doing it just because he was a cute guy, whatever? That's still,
but see, you don't know.
Shallow.
But you don't know yet because what if he is a good person? What if he do got some good qualities? Maybe you gonna have to test Lippy out.
Know. So, another question we have to ask, like, do we glorify dating? Because dating can be hard, right? But, are we dating just to date? Are we committed to doing all the things that we need to do in a relationship, rather than just jumping from bed to bed, or we get disillusioned by, what we see on television? As a matter of fact, recently, you may have heard about Judge Mathis, and he's separating or getting divorced from his wife of many, many years. I don't even know how many, but decades.
30-something, 27 years, or
okay, I don't know, but it's been a while. So
a long ass.
And when you think about that situation, there was something that he said about it, because people don't understand about the work, the commitment to somebody else's time and whatever. It's more than just going out on the dinner and taking the Instagram photos and all of that. Yeah. There's work that you have to put into it as well. So I'm just going to play a quick clip here of what Judge Mathis said about their separation.
Okay.
I'm not good. Rather, it's the worst days of my life. How about that?
Okay, well, I'm sorry to hear that. I wanted to ask you, with news of the separation, how are you holding up?
Not holding up very well. I would say the other men, maybe I'll be an example for other men, cautionary tale. Don't neglect your wife.
And I think that's a good point. You have to put in that time and energy into a relationship. So it's not just about, like I said, the cutesy dinners and all of that,
I love that he was honest. I love that he was very honest. He was very vulnerable. Yeah. And she probably looking at that like, because people go through shit.
Yeah.
And when people go through shit, it's like, especially when you're not the one in the wrong, when the other person is the one in the wrong, you want to play out their reaction, kind of see like, oh, what they gonna do. Because what he say at the end, I'm working to get my wife back.
Right.
I want her back. Yeah, you better. Y'all owe this shit.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
And I think one of the things, like as that interview went on, or whatever, he mentioned that he was basically putting work first. He was always traveling on the road because, they lived in one area, but they recorded in Chicago originally. And then the show moved to LA. So now he records to LA and he's back to that again. So there's a lot of work that goes into a relationship. And that's something you just have to be
prepared for.
Yeah.
But nobody can prepare you for that.
Right. And that leads us into question number 5. Am I ready to date? Here's the thing, particularly for somebody like me who has been single for a very long time or, on and off relationships here and there. But for the most part, I'm comfortable being single. There's some people who can't be alone or whatever. They go from one man to the next, one woman to the next or whatever. Is that you, Holly?
It might be me.
It might be you. Okay. So, and then there are other people who are comfortable with themselves and whatever. And when you think about that, there are times where I have to sort of check myself. Like, Jimmy, if you were to enter into a relationship right now, is your physical setup, your environment even ready to receive somebody else, right? Do you got extra room in your closet, or are you taking all the room with all your stuff?
Yeah.
Do you have, space in your life for somebody else? Your activities are so centered around you, and now you would have to include another person in that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and people think of that as small, because I thought of that as like a small thing because I've been in relationships after relationships. But when people really do the self-work and they go up on their journey to, just kind of be by themselves and figure out what they truly want. And like you say, just be comfortable of who they are. And they've created this environment around themselves where, like you said, everything surrounds them. So to let another person in, like that small, tedious thing can like piss them off and they be like, I don't want to be around with a motherfucker.
Like, look, bitch, I can do bad by myself. I've been paying this mortgage alone for a long time.
And the only thing the motherfucker asked for was a drawer.
Right.
And she know who I'm talking about because I know somebody was going through that same situation.
Yeah. And you know what?
That
actually reminds me of another thing that I find. I've had, I'm one of those people, single or not, a lot of people will call me for advice or just to be an ear for their situations. And you know what I find a lot of times with what people are kind of going through? A lot of them are not true relationship issues. They're roommate issues. You
Think
tripping
so?
because a motherfucker left his pants on the floor. He didn't, he left his drawers in the bathroom.
Because they don't really like that person.
Right.
That's what the fuck it is.
That's what
they
it is.
really don't like that person. Because when you love somebody, you put up with a lot of shit.
Right.
And no like cheating, shit, or nothing like that. I'm talking about small shit like you just said.
And also, too, and maybe it's just the type of person you are. I don't mind stuff like that. If first of all, I'm the type of person, if I see something on the ground, I'm just going to pick it up.
Yeah.
It ain't no big deal about, he left his drawers in the bathroom. Oh, he think I'm the maid. Or I'm
going to say something. Don't get it fucked up. I'm going to say something. I enjoy doing it.
Bother me, though. You know what I mean?
Don't bother you. You see, y'all, he don't mind that.
That does not bother me at all. And I think those are roommate issues, not even relationship issues. So other things, when we were talking before about waiting to accomplish certain things. So when you say, am I ready to date? Well, are you once again being held up by, once I get my job right, my career right, or once I open this business, or once I, like I said, it will never end.
Now at this point, is it an excuse?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that when you're being held back by something small, maybe you're not ready.
Yeah, because the excuse is the fear.
Yeah, and it's actually just a simple change in the way you think about it. Like, you can't be expected to be perfect, right?
Yeah.
So,
but people strive for that. People strive for that because I used to try to find myself doing that in a relationship because like you said, the past trauma of, if I get fat, a motherfucker might leave me, or a motherfucker might cheat, or a motherfucker might do this, or a motherfucker do that, and vice versa.
I'm gonna tell you right now, if you like me, you're gonna have to like me fat. You're gonna have to like some man titties, because this is what I got. And what I got is what I'm bringing to the table. So, you can't be somebody else. A lot of people, I think you run into this situation where you fake what, because I see this with like online profiles. You see them, they just as nice and slim. They know how to take that picture from that perfect angle up and to the left and all of that stuff. But and 57 layers of filters on that bitch, right? But here's the thing. I'm going to meet you in person.
Exactly.
So,
But you didn't bring that filter with you?
Right.
Oh, that's wild.
Unless you got some filtered glasses for me to wear when I sit at this table.
For the rest of our life.
And by the way, I know... Wait, let me get right up. Let me get in the camera. I know somebody who does that and cannot figure out why she is having struggles because... or figure out why her dates never go past the first date. And that's, bitch, because you presented them with a brand new person when they got there.
That wasn't you. They expecting
You just catfish the hell out these people.
What Chris Tucker say? You said you look like Janet Jackson. Right, bitch.
Right. So, so that's one of those things where, you can't, I'm sorry, but you can't present yourself in one way and then show up as yourself and wonder why folks, ain't really feeling you. So that's why her stuff is not going past the first date.
But see, that goes back to the insecurities too and other people's expectations of you. Maybe she feel like she needs to do that because of people's expectations of how women should look, how women should perceive themselves. And she might be a great ass person, but because she has these insecurities and she's doing those things, it's taken away from who she truly is because she ain't get a chance to display it. Because now they so thrown off about, bitch, this not even what the fuck you look like.
Right.
They can't even see you a good ass person.
So then that goes right back to the question of, am I ready to date? Those are some insecurities and self-esteem and all of that stuff. Maybe those are things you need to take care of first.
Yeah.
And, a lot of, particularly in our community, the Black community, now we're getting there. You see more people embracing therapy and stuff like that. But maybe you have to take care of some of those things, those insecurities first.
Yeah. The mental plays a big part of a relationship.
And
mentality,
you can't
people,
expect that
families.
a lot of people come into relationships expecting the other person to help them through their self-esteem issues or their self-care and all of that. But
bitch, I am not Dr. Phil.
No, even more important, you know what self-esteem is? It's esteem of yourself.
Talk about it.
That ain't got nothing to do with me. Yeah, I'm not here, like you said, I'm not here to be your Dr. Phil necessarily.
Right.
Now, that doesn't mean I'm not going to help you through situations and things like that. But maybe those are things that you have to take care of first. And another question that stems from the am I ready to date and the self-esteem and all of that is, do I even like myself? That just like our song at the beginning, actually that's the theme song for our show. I kind of like myself. Do you even like yourself? Because if you don't like yourself, I don't know how you expect anybody else to like it. That has to be the foundation.
You got to quote the great RuPaul. If you don't like yourself, how in the hell you gonna like anybody else?
Hello.
You know what the things say. But that's very true.
Yeah.
But some people don't want to put the work in. And I'm one of those people that did not put the work in. I was doing whatever. I just so happened to, God was just like, here you go. And I was like, oh, thank you.
Oh, okay. Because you lucked out. You got you a good one. You like, he all right. But no, you got you a good one.
Yeah.
But see, that's normal.
It. Yeah.
Right? That you're not expecting him to be perfect or whatever.
Yeah.
But you have somebody that's
perfect.
Supportive and, and loving and kind. Because like I said, you could end up with, I've been on this planet for almost 5 decades. I've seen some folks get knocked upside their head and all sorts of stuff,
That was me at one point. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, we're not doing that no more, right?
At all.
So, you ain't taking the ass whooping. So that whole idea of am I ready? Like I said, do I even like myself? You have to ask yourself that and then begin to take care of those things, right? So anything else you have to add about any of these weird things?
I'm glad mental health is becoming like a talked about thing, a popular thing, because it was just so, I want to say, like swept under the rug with the Black community.
Right, yes.
It was just like, oh, what goes on in our household stays in our household. Like, no, because you're fucking me up. And now it's carrying over into my relationship and making that household, it's making that household that I'm trying to build fucked up.
Right, yep. Because you will carry that into your family as you go forward or whatever, if it's unresolved. So you kind of have to address it. And I'm, of course, even older than you. So I remember a time where, you know, you were definitely looked down upon if you were going to see psychiatrist. Oh, he crazy. He must be crazy. He got to go. You heard about Jimmy, didn't you? Yeah, girl, he going to see a doctor or what? And it's like, what are y'all doing? But that childhood trauma will carry over into your life, not just relationships, but your career, So,
and it's dangerous.
So getting your mental health together, a healthy relationship is always going to start with a healthy you.
Right.
So you can't come into something broken and then expect that, all of a sudden this new relationship is going to fix everything. You really need to take care of yourself first.
Because it's what we see. It's what we surround ourselves with. It's what we aspire to be. I feel like a lot of people aspire to be great people.
Yeah.
Whether it's a good husband, a good wife, a good child, a good friend. But if you don't have those examples and you don't have those people around you supporting those type of things.
Right.
And that's why I felt like the Judge Mathis clip was so good for him saying like, oh, I want to get my wife back. I want to do this. I want to do that, instead of saying, fuck that bitch.
Right.
Fuck, I'm finna be with a new hoe and all this other shit. Like, but you really crying on the inside.
Right. Yeah. Agreed. So that was good to hear. So, well, I think that covers everything that we could possibly cover on this. So again, in today's episode of the UnDateable Me podcast, we talked about the 5 questions you need to ask yourself if you are having issues with relationships or dating, which ended up leading to more questions, including the one, do I even like myself? So again, cannot emphasize enough the importance of, taking care of yourself first, because a healthy relationship does, in fact, begin with a healthy you. So I want to thank you all for joining us. But before I go, Holly, I have a little gift for you for coming to join me on the very first episode, if that's all right.
Y'all see how Jimmy do things? See how it's real big over here?
You so silly. Oh, if I can get the bag over there. So
wait. Let me just say this.
What?
Did you use it? So y'all see this, right? So in my house, I might have a bag, but I might put something different in it. So is this bag with this gift?
No, it's from there. You so silly.
Oh my God, Jimmy.
So I want to thank you, thank Holly for being here, and we will catch you on the next episode.
Wait, I want the haters to see my gift.
You're so silly. It'll still show. Go ahead, open your gift, baby.
Wait, let me open the card.
So make sure you guys subscribe. Make sure you guys subscribe to the podcast. And again, thank you, Holly. I love you so much. Oh, you're just so silly. Don't tell them about that part. All right. Join us every week for the UnDateable Me podcast. I am your host, Jimmy Lee Lard, the Sock Snob, and we will catch you on the next episode. We appreciate you, Holly.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Because don't play with me. Okay, Jimmy.
You like it?
I love it.
Okay.
I see you hanging around, but I don't have much to say to you. Don't know what you're waiting for. Guess you think I'm playing with you. Ever since you walked out my door, I changed the locks on you. There ain't nobody getting I'm doing fine by myself, and I like it. I've been doing things by myself. You should try it. When we was together, I'll admit you had me gone. Now I'm by myself, and it feels good to be alone.
Come on.
woke up so happy when we broke up. It was the best thing for the both of us. So somebody got their throat cut. Sick of arguing with you. Plus all the shit you do. Walking around with an attitude. Mad at me cause I'm mad at you. But now I'm straight. Your boy is feeling great. Got a little paper in my pocket, so I'm thinking it popping inside, outside with a tape. Say goodbye to the lake. Fresh off the grill. With a couple pretty kitty cats cooking my meal. I'm doing